The sky was not normal that day. Clouds turned black, the air felt heavy, and birds flew in strange directions. People came out of their homes and looked up. Something big was moving through the clouds. It was not a plane. It was not a ship. It was alive. Everyone stared as the shape became clear. Huge wings as wide as mountains, long neck, sharp horns, a tail like thunder. It was a dragon. But not just any dragon. This was the last alien dragon in the whole universe. Many years ago, this dragon was feared by every planet. It had destroyed worlds, burned cities, and crushed armies. Its name had been removed from history because people were too scared to speak it. Some believed it had died in a great war. Others thought it went to sleep among the stars. But it was not dead. It had returned. The dragon's body was covered in scars. Its wings were torn. One of its eyes was shut forever. The other eye glowed like a dying star. It came to Earth, not to fight, but to rest. It did not land in a city. It flew past the tall buildings, past the noise, and chose a quiet, cold mountain far from humans. There, it curled its huge body around the peak, covered itself with its wings, closed its eye. The dragon was ready to die. Military jets came to the sky, missiles locked on. People watched on screens across the world. But the dragon did not move. It didn't roar. It didn't fight. It simply waited for the end. Governments gave orders. Do not attack unless it attacks first. Scientists tried to study it from far. Why is it here? Why Earth? Religious leaders called it a sign, a test, a warning, a gift. But one small boy saw something different. He didn't see a monster. He didn't see a weapon. He saw sadness. The boy lived in a small village near the mountain. He didn't have much. No computer, no phone, not even shoes. But he had one thing, a flute. It was old, wooden, and belonged to his grandfather. The boy had heard stories. His grandfather used to sing songs that were no longer allowed. The village elders had called them dangerous. One song, especially, was called the Forbidden Song. No one was allowed to play it. They said it brought memories to remember. But the boy had heard it once. He remembered how it made his chest feel warm and cold at the same time. Now seeing the dragon in pain, something pulled at his heart. While others stayed far away, the boy took the flute and began walking toward the mountain. He didn't tell anyone. He didn't leave a note. He just followed the feeling in his heart. It took him hours to reach the base of the mountain. Cold winds pushed him back, but he kept walking. Sharp rocks cut his feet, but he didn't stop. When he reached the top, the dragon was there, massive, still, and silent. Its breathing was slow and deep. A steam came out of its nose like smoke from a dying fire. The boy's hands were shaking. His legs felt weak. But he sat down near the dragon's giant claw, took a deep breath, and lifted the flute to his lips. The air stood still, the mountain listened, and the forbidden song began. The sound of the flute was soft, like wind passing through trees. But it carried far over the rocks, over the snow, and into the ears of the dragon. The boy's fingers moved slowly. He was scared, but he kept playing. His breath shook, but the melody stayed strong. The dragon didn't move. Its giant eye stayed closed. But deep inside its heart, something stirred. That song, it was not just music. It was a memory. Long ago. On a distant planet now turned to dust, that song had been sung. A young girl, with eyes full of hope, had sung it as the sky burned above her. The dragon had been there that day. It had destroyed her world. It remembered her voice, her tears. Her pain now, on this cold earth mountain, the same tune was being played by a human boy. The dragon opened its eye. Just one. It turned its head slightly. Its breath grew deeper. The boy saw it. His hands froze. He stopped playing. He thought the dragon would roar, maybe burn him in an instant. But the dragon just stared. "Why do you sing that song?" the dragon asked, its voice like thunder rolling through the clouds. The boy was shaking. But he answered, "Because I felt your pain." The dragon blinked slowly. "Do you even know what that song means?" The boy shook his head. "No." My grandfather said it was forbidden. But I remember the sound. It made me feel sad but strong. Like someone was crying, but still hoping. The dragon's huge body moved slightly. The wind blew harder as it lifted its head a little. That song is a song of goodbye. It is not from Earth. It was sung by those who faced death, but still wished for peace. The boy looked down. I didn't know that. I just wanted to help you. The dragon looked at him carefully. You are not like the others. Bring guns and fear. You brought music. The boy nodded. Everyone thinks you are here to destroy us, but I think you just don't want to be alone. For a long moment, the dragon said nothing. Its breath formed clouds in the air. Eyes once full of rage and fire now looked tired. I have destroyed many, it said. I was made for war. I lived to win battles. But now, I only feel empty. The boy sat closer. Even if you did bad things. If you're sorry, maybe you can change. The dragon looked up at the stars. Do you think a monster like me can change? The boy thought for a moment, then said, I don't think you're a monster anymore. Not if a song can reach your heart. The dragon closed its eye again, but not to sleep. This time, it was thinking, remembering. Feeling, the boy quietly lifted the flute again and began playing once more. This time, the dragon did not just listen, breathed in rhythm with the music. Its body relaxed. Its claws unclenched. A soft light began to glow from under its broken scales. It was faint, but it was there like a spark that refused to die. Far below the mountain, people were watching through binoculars and cameras. They saw the boy, they saw the dragon, but they didn't understand what was happening. They didn't know a song once forbidden, now forgotten, was waking up a dying creature's soul. The boy kept playing, and the dragon. Once the deadliest in the universe listened like a child hearing a bedtime story, the boy's flute kept singing into the cold night. Each note floated like warm breath in the icy air. The dragon sat still, but its chest moved with the rhythm. A storm had been building in the sky, but now the clouds were parting, making space for the stars to shine again. It was as if the heavens wanted to listen to. After a while, the boy lowered his flute and looked up at the dragon. Still couldn't believe it was real. This giant, deadly beast, listening like a quiet old man. The dragon's voice finally came again, deep and slow. What is your name, little one? The boy was surprised. He thought for a moment, then answered, My name is not important. I am just a boy with a flute. The dragon's one working. I blinked. You are more than that. You are brave. Are kind. You are the first being in 1,000 years to stand before me without fear. The boy looked down. I was scared. But I saw your eyes. They looked like they were asking for help. The dragon was quiet for a moment. Then, with great effort, it moved its head a little closer to the boy. I have seen too much, the dragon said. Too many wars. Too many screams. I was made to destroy. I burned cities. I crushed stars. I became the nightmare everyone feared. Boy listened closely. His heart felt heavy. He asked, Then why did you come to Earth? I wanted to sleep, the dragon answered. To close my eyes forever. I chose this mountain to be my grave. The boy looked at the giant creature. Lying in front of him, he saw the scars, the broken wings, the heavy breath. You could have died anywhere, the boy said softly. Why here? The dragon looked up at the sky because Earth has something no other world has. Long ago, I heard a voice from this planet. A voice singing a song. The song you just played. The boy's eyes widened. You heard it before? Yes, the dragon whispered. It was the last voice I heard before I destroyed her world. She was not a soldier. She didn't fight me. She just sang. The boy's hands trembled. Happened to her? I don't know, the dragon said. But her voice never left my mind. It followed me through time, through battles, through darkness. When I decided to die, I wanted to hear it again. One last time, the boy understood. Now, His flute, his song, had brought the dragon back to life, not in body, but in soul. He looked up. "Do you want to live again?" The dragon didn't answer right away. Then slowly it said, "I don't know how. I've never lived without war." The boy stood up. His legs were shaking, but his voice was strong. "Then stay rest. Learn from us. Not the ones with guns, but the ones with hearts." Far below, in cities and military bases, leaders were still watching. They didn't understand what they were seeing. They only saw a boy and a monster. And silence. But on the mountain, something powerful was happening. A deadly creature was learning what peace felt like. And a human child was teaching it, not with books or weapons, but with a simple, forbidden song. The dragon slowly closed. Its eye, not to die, but to feel. The boy sat back down and played again. And for the first time in 1,000 years, the dragon didn't feel like a monster. It felt alive. The night was calm now. No more winds, no more fear. The dragon rested its head on the mountain like a tired traveler. The boy sat beside it, holding the flute close to his chest. He didn't play right away. He looked at the stars and breathed slowly. "Are you still in pain?" he asked quietly. The dragon's voice was softer now. "Yes, but not from wounds. The pain is inside, where no fire can burn and no claw can reach." The boy thought for a moment. "Is it guilt?"
No.
The dragon let out a deep breath. It sounded like thunder rolling across the mountains. "I remember every world I burned, every scream, every child who ran. I remember and I regret." The boy turned toward the great beast. "Then that means you have a heart. A monster can destroy, but only someone with a soul can regret." The dragon was silent. That simple truth from a child's mouth shook something deep inside him. "I never asked for this life," the dragon said. "I was created to be a weapon, a living storm. I followed orders, I destroyed. And when the war ended, there was nothing left for me." The boy's eyes softened. "And that's when you started dying on the inside." "Yes," the dragon replied. "I traveled alone for hundreds of years. I saw silence everywhere, empty planets, cold moons. I came to Earth because I wanted it to end. But Earth is full of life," the boy said. "Even after pain, we keep going. We build again. We forgive. We sing." The dragon raised its head just a little. "You sing songs of hope. Even when everything breaks, you still sing." The boy smiled gently. "That's what keeps us human." Dragon looked at the stars again. "Tell me, little one, what will happen to me now? Will your people kill me?" The boy was quiet. "Some of them might try. They fear what they don't understand. They only see your past, not your pain." The dragon's voice turned low. "I should fly away." The boy stood up. "You don't have to run. You don't have to hide. You can stay." "But not as a destroyer?" the dragon asked. "Then as what?" The boy walked closer and placed a hand on the dragon's huge claw. "As someone who protects, someone who changes, someone who heals what they once hurt." The dragon looked at the small hand on his scales. It had felt the touch of war for centuries. But this was different. It was warm. It was real. Far below, the army had gathered near the mountain. Soldiers stood with weapons. Scientists watched from cameras. Drones floated in the air. Everyone waited for orders. The dragon was awake now. They didn't know if it would attack, but nothing came from the mountain except the soft sound of a flute. The boy had begun playing again, and this time the dragon hummed along. It didn't roar, it didn't burn, it didn't run. It sang a deep, low sound, like music from the earth itself. The song touched the trees, the rivers, even the hearts of those far away who couldn't hear it clearly but felt something change in the air. "Ah!" Commander in the control center lowered his headset slowly. "What are we looking at?" He whispered. Soldier answered. "I don't know, sir. But I don't think it's war anymore." On the mountain, the dragon's eye glowed softly, not with fire, but with light. The boy looked up and saw peace in that eye, and for the first time in the Dragon's life? Peace looked back. News spread like wildfire. Alien dragon found alive. Human boy playing music for the deadliest creature in the universe. Is this the end, or a new beginning? All around the world, people stared at their screens. Some were scared. Some were curious. Some cried, not knowing why. The image was strange. A child and a monster sitting together on a frozen mountain. But not everyone wanted peace. In a dark control room far away, important men in suits spoke with cold voices. This dragon has killed billions in the past. One said, "It's a war machine," another added. "It cannot be trusted." One general leaned forward. "We must act before it's too late." "But what about the boy?" asked a young woman on the team. "He's the only one who made contact. He's keeping the dragon calm," the general replied. "Then we'll remove the boy first." Back on the mountain, the dragon had started to speak more. Slowly, carefully, it told the boy about the wars between stars, about the creators who built it, about the final battle when the stars fell and the galaxy screamed. The boy listened. Like a student listening to an old teacher, he didn't interrupt. He just kept the flute ready in his lap. "You could go back to space," the boy said. "There must be peaceful planets now." The dragon shook its head slowly. "No, I have nowhere to go. The stars are silent. I am alone." The boy thought for a moment. "Then stay here, on Earth." "But your people won't allow that." The dragon said, "They only see the past version of me. They will try to destroy me. I'll protect you," the boy said bravely. The dragon let out a soft sound. Not a laugh, not a cry, something in between. "You are a small little one, but your heart is large." Suddenly, a sharp sound cut through the wind. A drone flew above their heads. The boy looked up. "They found us." The dragon's body tensed. His claws curled. His eyes lit up, not with peace this time, but fear. "I don't want to fight," the dragon said. "But I will not let them kill me again." More drones appeared, circling. A voice came from a speaker on one drone. "Step away from the creature. This is your final warning." The boy stepped in front of the dragon. "No." He shouted, "He's not here to hurt us." The voice ignored him. "You are in danger. Move now." The boy shook his head.
Away.
"I'm not in danger. I'm with a friend." Suddenly, a red dot appeared on the dragon's head. A sniper. A missile. Locke the dragon saw it too. His body shook. His wings twitched. "They're going to strike," he growled. "I must defend myself." "No," the boy shouted again. "That's what they want. They want you to attack first." Tears filled the boy's eyes. "Please, don't become what they fear. Show them they're wrong." The dragon looked at the boy, then at the drones, and at the sky. His claws opened. His wings stayed still. He did not roar, did not burn. He closed his eye. It was a message. "I trust you." The boy turned toward the drone camera. "If you hurt him, the world will lose its last chance at peace." In command centers across the globe, silence filled the air. Generals froze. Soldiers looked at each other. No one had ever seen anything like this. One small boy, standing between fear and hope, and one ancient dragon. Trusting a child more than an entire galaxy? The mountain was quiet. Drones floated in the air, waiting for orders. Soldiers stood with their fingers near triggers. Satellites locked on from space. Every eye on Earth was focused on one spot, the boy and the dragon. The dragon kept its eye closed. Its wings did not rise. Its mouth did not open. It had chosen peace. But peace is never easy. Inside the control rooms, commanders argued, "This is our only chance. We can strike now and end it. And if we strike and it fights back," someone replied, "we could lose everything. He's still a weapon, a threat, but he hasn't attacked." One voice stood out, a quiet one. The voice of the young woman scientist who had first spotted the dragon's arrival, maybe. For the first time, wants to be more than a weapon. No one answered. They just watched. On the mountain, the boy stood still. His arms were spread wide. He was protecting the dragon with only his small body. He could hear the faint hum of energy in the sky. He knew missiles were ready. He knew one wrong move could end everything. But he didn't move. He looked at the dragon. "Thank you for trusting me." The dragon slowly opened its eye. "I was created for war, but right now, I feel something different." "What do you feel?" the boy asked. "Warmth," the dragon said. "A small light inside me, like when I heard the first song long ago, a feeling I never understood. Until now," the boy smiled. "That's hope." The dragon lowered its head again. "It is small, but it is stronger than fire." Suddenly, a small device dropped from the sky. It landed near the boy. A soft light blinked on it. A voice spoke from it. "Step back, child. It will not harm you. This is your final warning." The boy stared at the device. "You still don't understand. He's not here to fight. He's here to feel, to change." There was no reply. The dragon spoke again, softly. "They fear what I once was. I don't blame them. But they didn't see what I saw," the boy said. "They didn't hear you speak. They didn't feel your sadness." The dragon looked at him, then let them see it. "How?" the boy asked. "Let them see my truth." Then the dragon did something no one expected. He began to glow, not with fire, not with power, but with soft golden light. It started from his chest and spread through his broken wings, his long tail, his scars. It was not a weapon. It was memory. The light carried images, floating like smoke into the sky. Soldiers and commanders across the world saw them on their screens. A child on a dying planet, singing as the stars burned. A dragon full of rage flying through fire and silence. The endless loneliness of space, regret, guilt, and finally, a boy with a flute. Every heart that saw it felt something deep inside. Back in the control center, one general removed his headset. "Stand down," he said. Another man turned in shock. "Sir, stand down," the general repeated. "That thing is not our enemy anymore." All across the world, the weapons powered off. Missiles were canceled. Drones turned back. On the mountain, the boy looked up as the light faded. The dragon's glow dimmed and returned to normal. His great head rested near the boy again. They saw, the boy whispered. They believed. The dragon didn't answer with words. Let out a soft breath, peaceful, calm. For the first time in history, the deadliest creature in the galaxy had chosen something stronger than war. He had chosen trust, and a boy had taught the world to listen. The world had changed in one single night. No buildings fell. No bombs exploded. No armies marched. Instead, the world changed because a boy played a song. And a dragon listened. The boy sat beside the dragon on the quiet mountain. His flute rested in his lap. The cold wind had softened. It didn't bite. Anymore it danced. The dragon, once feared as the destroyer of galaxies, looked peaceful now. His giant body moved slowly with his breath. Together, they had done something no weapon could. They had stopped fear with trust. They had stopped war with music. Down below, people gathered in cities, on rooftops, in parks, looking up at the mountain. Some cried. Some smiled. Some stood in silence. Across the world, people lit candles, played soft music, or simply held hands. The boy looked at the dragon. You're not alone anymore. The dragon gave a quiet nod, and neither are you. Suddenly, the skies lit up, not with fire, but with lights from above. Ships were arriving. But these were not Earth's ships. They came from the stars. Other species, from faraway galaxies, had heard the dragon's song, the one he sent into the sky. They had once feared him too. He had burned their skies, destroyed their moons. But now, they came not with anger, but with questions and hope. A tall silver ship landed softly near the mountain. Doors opened, and peaceful beings stepped out. Their eyes held caution and wonder. The dragon raised his head. He did not growl. He did not roar. Simply said, I am not what I was I want to learn. I want to heal. The beings nodded. The boy turned to the dragon. Will you go with them? The dragon looked at the stars, then at the boy. Not to run, not to hide, but to tell the truth. To tell them about the boy who made a monster feel again. The boy's eyes watered, but he smiled. Will you come back? I will, the dragon said. And next time, not as a legend of fear, but as a friend. The dragon lowered his head. The boy stepped forward and placed his hand on the warm scales. He closed his eyes. Thank you, the boy whispered. No, the dragon replied. Thank you, little human. You saved more than me. You saved something inside everyone watching. With slow, graceful movement, the dragon spread his damaged wings. They were no longer broken. The golden light inside him had healed them. Not perfectly. The scars remained. But they shined now like stars that refused to fade. He flew, not like a monster escaping, but like a soul set free. Higher and higher he rose. Toward the sky filled with ships and stars, the boy stood on the mountain and watched him disappear into the night sky. The wind sang softly around him. Behind him, people had begun climbing the mountain. Scientists, soldiers, teachers, children, not to fight, but to learn. Didn't come with weapons. They came with instruments, guitars, violins, drums, flutes. Because it learned something that day, something schools never taught and wars never proved. Music could heal what guns never could. Years later, people still told the story of the last alien, the deadliest dragon, the cold mountain, and the small boy who played a forbidden song. They built a statue there, not of the dragon or the boy, but of a flute, because the world didn't need a hero with a sword. It needed a child with a song, and in the end, it was the song that changed the stars.